Yes, yes indeed. We are ready to go. We are rejoined on the Twitch broadcast, and it is time to bring you the starting lineups for this, well, the entire lineups. Everybody starts in roller derby. Are you ready, Suki?
I am ready.
All right, let's do this.
All right, it looks like the first team that's going to be taking the track is the Coffin Draggers.
Your number one seed in the standings for the first time in a long time. The Coffin Draggers looking to protect that status tonight and remain undefeated.
Yeah, they've got a big job to do tonight. All right, and for the Coffin Draggers, we've got number 13, Hugs and Stitches. Number 23, Murder Mittens. Number 94, Angel of Beth. Number 96, Olive You Die. Number 300, Dolly Spartan. 414, Foxy Razordean. Number 666, Strange. 710, Mofasta. 1029, Reckless Rose. 1312, Rickety Bones. 7780, Pee Wee Vermin. 8055, Frankenherder. And your co-captain for the Coffin Draggers is number 18, Embezzlement. Your captain is number 616, Antifa. Coaching the Coffin Draggers is Grantula and Scarebear/Garebear.
Now taking the track from the near bench, decked out in burnt orange this evening, it's the Doomsday Valkyries. Skating tonight for the Valkyries, number 5, Motion Sickness. Number 070, Skeletori. Number 38, NC Jammer. Number 98, Blair Bitch. Number 182, Hannibal Lecture. Number 304, Critter. Number 401, Audimus Prime. Number 411, Stax Attack. Number 669, Nikki Badass. Number 816, Kansas City. Number 1031, Halloween. Number 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor. Co-captain number 73, Shirls. And your captain of the Doomsday Valkyries, number 22, Mimi Mahler. Coaching tonight for the Valkyries, Infidel Castro and Invader Slim. We are ready to get going. We had a special announcement we wanted to bring you. All of you reminded me that I should say something about this. I had seen this, in fact. The USARs, the USA Roller Sports, have named their teams for the men's and women's. Yes, the men's and women's tournaments upcoming in 2026. Mimi Mahler and Hugs and Stitches were both named to the USAR's flat track national team. And coach of the Coffin Draggers, Garebear, was named to the men's team for USARs. And a little love to Thrasher, number 20, a former minor assault, named to the women's team as well. Big representation from Arizona on USARs this year. Exciting stuff. Okay, we are ready to go. 60 more minutes of derby action to fit the final piece of the playoff puzzle into place. Halloween is going to start things off for the Valkyries.
And we've got number 666, Strange, for the Coffin Draggers. Both jammers going hard there, looking to find their place. Halloween still at the high. Strange kind of vacillating between the high and the low. Looking for a way out.
Halloween's just trying to drive right down Main Street and push past those blockers. Solid 3 wall of blockers.
Strange is coming up from the high there, coming around. Looks like they found their spot as lead jammer had taken that helmet cover off, but's got the star back on now, ready to score some points.
And Sandra Slay O'Connor is going to take over as jammer for the Valkyries, try to keep this to one scoring pass for Strange. Going to slide down on their knees along the front straightaway, and that kind of runs them out of momentum, and they got to call it off. Thank you. We were just updated that Pretty Hurt Machine is the assistant bench coach for the Valkyries and not Invader Slim this evening. We had bad info in the roster. Our bad.
And it looks like we've got all of you die for the Coffin Draggers on the line.
And that's motion sickness for the Valkyries.
Olive getting bumped out onto the infield there as motion sickness is kind of twirling their way around towards the high, down to the low now. Both jammers again kind of stuck in the pack.
Sick is trying to get past embezzlement and murder mittens at the back of the pack and unable to do so. They're continuing to frustrate the Draggers jammer as well, are the Valkyries. Draggers only put 2 points on the board in that first jam, and it looks like we're headed to another low-scoring affair here. Sick is still looking for an opening. We've had the star pass forward to Hugs and Stitches for the Coffin Draggers. Sick is going to get ridden down by Murder Mittens, is still trying to get clear. Now here comes Mimi Mahler to try to spring Sick, and they do so.
Yeah, but Hugs and Stitches is moving. Look at that. Gonna call that off.
Stitches gets by, gets that jammer penalty, and calls it off. So 5 points for the Draggers there in the second jam, 7-0 Draggers. This will be Kansas City for the Valkyries and Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers.
But Jammer's just kind of barreling through there. Dolly's kind of going up to the high, but gets bumped up there. Looks like that. Was that Nikki? I think that might have been Nikki that did that. Nikki Badass. Dolly coming around now for some points, though. Making nice work. Gets bumped off, though. It's got to re-enter the track.
Yeah, excellent work by Blair Bitch to stay on the track after completing that block. However, Dolly Spartan able to finish the scoring pass for the Coffin Draggers.
Now coming around again, too.
We're at the back of the pack. We're looking for a jammer for the Valkyries, looking for that star. Kansas City appears to have passed it, has passed it. So taking over as jammer for the Valkyries, not yet jammer of record, is Critter. And Dolly Spartan's going to call it off. Critter had the star in their hand there. All right. 8 points for the Coffin Draggers there in our third jam. This is going to be Skeletori for the Valkyries, and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Draggers off to the hot start here in the first couple of jams.
We've got a lighter pack for the Valkyries with just 3 blockers out there.
Tori's trying to find an opening along the inside and unable to do so. Olive blocked back to the back of the pack as well. And now Olive finds an opening and blasting through, taking off. 4th straight lead jam to start the game for the Coffin Draggers. Skeletori picking up a whip from Mimi to get on out of the pack. And now Mimi and Shirls are going to unite at the front of the pack and try not to let Olive through. They do not. Olive has to call it off. Olive does get those points at the front of the pack, however, so 4 points for Olive, 19 nada right now, Coffin Draggers in the early going. That'll be Strange once again for the Coffin Draggers. And your
that
jammer
looks like Critter.
Yep, Critter's going to start on the jammer line this time for the Valkyries.
Strange and Critter, they're trying to find their way through. It looks like Critter is going to make it out first as lead jammer, but here comes Strange. Ooh, gets bumped off onto the infield, though. Has to rejoin, kind of regroup. Holly Ween's doing a nice job at holding back a couple of those Coffin Dragger blockers. But we had a little bit of a star pass there. Went to Dolly Spartan now, who's coming around. Critter calls that off, just as Dolly comes sliding on in.
Yep, Critter calling it off there mid-pack. We'll check on the score, but that should put the Valkyries on the board. It does. 2 points for the Valkyries, 19-2 here in the early going. Mo Festa on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers. A yeah Mo from the crowd, and then here is Hannibal Lecture for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Mofasta making a nice break for it, gets out of the pack as lead jammer, leaving Hannibal Lecture to kind of take up the slack a little bit there at the back, having a tough time getting through. Mofasta just making good work of that pack. Look at that. Although meets up with Mimi Mahler at the front, gets bumped around a little bit. Nice work by the Valkyries defense on this one. They're doing a good job at holding Mofasta back.
Saw the jammer for the Valkyries got dumped down to the inside Hannibal Lecture, but got up to try to enforce the call off there. So 5 points for the Draggers. They're up on the board. There's going to be Angel of Beth on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers here, number 94. And jamming for the Valkyries is Holly Ween. Angel of Beth along the inside. Draggers opening a path for her down there, and she is out and clear as well.
Holly Ween's having a tougher time there towards kind of the mid-pack, allowing their teammates to kind of pull them along. But boom, big hit by Dolly Spartan. That lands Holly Ween on the infield there, slows them down considerably.
Angel of Beth fighting through the pack and calls it off. Holly Ween had gotten out for the Valkyries, so 4 more for the Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers just chugging right along. 4 points at a pop. All of you die for the Coffin Draggers, and
motion sickness.
Yep, motion sickness once again for the Valkyries. Motion sickness, nearly clear along the outside, but runs into Hugs and Stitches. Now up there trying to push those blockers out of the way. Those blockers are up to the task, and they're going to slow motion sickness down. That's Murder Mittens and Hugs and Stitches. They're now up there trying to clear. Sick is doing everything they can trying to get past Murder Mittens, and Murder Mittens still up to the task. Look at that, Murder Mittens. What a defensive effort by Murder Mittens along the back straight. Excellent individual defensive effort by Murder Mittens. Motion sickness still fighting. The Coffin Draggers jammer not out yet, still. So neither jammer out with 13 seconds left in the jam, and it looks like both teams might just be content to let this one be a standoff until the clock expires, since nobody can call it off since nobody got out.
Yeah, this is a defensive
Yes.
stand down. It's like, okay. We're just going to hang out until that jam clock expires.
All right, no points for either side. Strange for the Coffin Draggers. Critter, once again, for the Valkyries. Full pack. We, again, have not seen a whole lot of penalties called here in the early going. It seems like we've had more full packs than not.
Critter pushing up towards the front of the pack there. Strange gets bumped off onto the infield, but does rejoin. Critter has to go back to the back there, starting from square one. Again, nice defense by Coffin Draggers.
Critter's able to find an opening along the inside and gets past. Lead jam for the Valkyries. Strange is still the jammer of record for the Coffin Draggers, still has that star off and is now getting blocked violently down in the pack by Nikki Badaz. 669 on 666, driving Strange off to the infield. Here's Critter absorbing a block from Strange at the back of the pack, and then Dolly Spartan just dumps Critter with a back elbow onto the infield hard. Strange nearly clear, but got blocked off to the inside with 5 seconds left on the jam clock. So Critter's just trying to see whatever points she can get here. Is knocked down to the inside as the clock expires. Critter gets all 5 on that scoring pass. So 28-7. We've got number 070, that is Skeletori, not Invader Slim. Skeletori at the jammer line for the Valkyries, and all of you die for the Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers are down 2 blockers. Valkyries have a 2-blocker advantage in the pack here, but we're going to have a timeout of some kind. I see Infidel Castro signaling something, and let's find out what that is. Team timeout, Valkyries. All right, team timeout, Valkyries. So Castro saw something there he wanted to talk about here in the first quarter. Something he wanted to discuss with the Valkyries. They're going to take a 60-second team timeout, 28-7. The Draggers are in front at the moment.
Don't forget, you still have time to do the silent auction. I just checked out the bids but right before the game started, and there are not very many bids, so you could get a heck of a deal if you go down there and bid on those silent auction items. Remember, that's going to be a $300 Rhea Riot tattoo gift certificate and a $400 Lost Dutchman tattoo gift certificate. So get your raffle tickets for do your silent bid, silent auction
Silent
bids.
auction,
There we
yeah.
go.
And you can still buy raffle tickets. We still have to give away the Dead Star Press tote bag and book of your choice, the Two Cheese Touch massage for a 60-minute massage, and the Switchblade Salon hair certificate. So you will want to, get your tickets into those bags down there. We will give those away as the quarter breaks approach. The Arizona Derby Dames drink bar is still open right down here, right in here between the bleachers in its classic old spot. Step in there and get yourself a drink if you would like. We're back to it. Halloween for the Valkyries. All of you die for the Coffin Draggers.
Like you said, the Coffin Draggers are at a bit of a disadvantage here. They only have 2 blockers on the track right now, so Olive's going to have to probably do just a little bit more work or be a little bit more strategic. Halloween is actually out as lead jammer, as Olive is still trying to push their way through, comes up against Mimi Mahler and Motion Sickness, who have been quite a good duo so far.
Yep, now Halloween's going to get ground into the rail by Hugs and Stitches as All of You Die gets out at the front. So, going to try to keep this to 1 scoring pass for Halloween. Holly's going to get through, Ween. They call her Ween, not Holly. Ween does get through the pack and they call it off. I learned that in the last bout. So 4 points for the Valkyries as we reach the later parts of the first quarter. 28-11, the Draggers are in front.
We've got Reckless Rose on the line for the Coffin Draggers.
And that is going to be Critter for the Valkyries. Reckless Rose leaps into a blocker trying to clear some space.
Yeah, Reckless Rose is just trying to bully their way through. Gets shifted towards the back of the pack.
Critter is going to find an opening. In fact, Critter gets through the pack and puts the helmet cover back on for the Valkyries. Critter's had some pretty good success jamming for the Valkyries here. Has gotten out a couple of times for them, filling in a sub capacity after skating for the Brutal Beauties earlier today. So now Reckless Rose is going to line up and play defense. She often plays defense at the back of the pack, so that's a familiar place for her. They're going to try to keep Critter from getting through here more than once, basically, and see what they can do about all the points they're in. Critter trying to tiptoe along the inside and just runs out of space.
Yeah, and Strange was not having that either. They were bumping them off a lot too, so that's good defense by Strange.
So, all right, we'll check on the score from the infield. It is all 4 for the Valkyries on that scoring pass. We're going to have another stoppage in play here. Let's find out what it is. It's going to be an official timeout this time, so the regulators need some time to talk over some of the penalties apparently in that previous jam. They will do so. So the Valkyries are putting some points on the board here. The Coffin Draggers opened up a big early lead, but the Valkyries with 4 more. Now 28-15, the Coffin Draggers with 2:18 to go in the first quarter.
Don't forget about the after party that's going to be happening. It's going to join us at the Thunderbird Lounge for the after party located on 7th Avenue north of Indian School Road. I'll be directly after this bout.
Yes, Thunderbird Lounge. They often have 80s nights, it seems like a lot of times when we're there. I believe Freya, hey, Freya Hugs, you can speak to that. They had like a, what was the last one they had there? Was it a drag night? Okay. Yeah, there's been an 80s night, a goth night. Yeah, theme stuff at Thunderbird. It's fun. It's always kind of a different flavor whenever we go there for our after party. So, as mentioned, that is on 7th Avenue, just north of Indian School. Nav it. That's what everybody does now. It's Thunderbird Lounge. So nav that. That's where the after party will be. Everybody decamps there after a little bit of debriefing. There will usually be a pretty solid amount. 15, 20 people show up to those. So if you want to drop by and hang out with your favorite skaters. I hear an above shoulders, so that was part of the discussion. We will see who reports to the penalty box. All right, we're still waiting to get back to the action. Head ref is talking to the Valkyries bench now and letting them know about something. That's Yazzle Dazzle serving as head ref for this bout. Discussion continues on the Valkyries bench. And finally, Kansas City heads to the penalty box. All right. So it is a power jam for the Valkyries, however. Look at that. The Valkyries have picked up a power jam at an extremely, possibly timely point. But the Coffin Draggers have been strong on defense. So the Valkyries skating with a one-skater disadvantage here. Coffin Draggers have all four of their blockers. Let's see what develops. The chess match is underway. Holly Ween, very accomplished jammer in bank track roller derby. However, the Coffin Draggers, as we said, stout on defense throughout the evening. Ween is going to get up to the front again and is going to get dumped down to the ground. Great defense so far by the Coffin Draggers.
Oh, yeah. Murder Mittens is once again at it, and it looks like Mo Fosta's in on the action, too, as far as keeping Halloween back. Great Draggers defense right there. But Holly Ween does get out with a little shove by Mimi Mahler.
Yep, so possibly time for two scoring passes. Definitely at least one. Probably just one, I would say, at this point. So now here comes Ween, going to see what she can do with the back end of this scoring power jam, on this scoring pass. Is going to get up to the front, is in behind a couple of blockers. I know she's just trying to get those hips in front of everybody with 5 seconds to go, and is weaving around, stays upright. Look at that, looking down at that
some
skate
nice
for balance. Stayed upright, getting by everybody. So all 5 of those points on that scoring pass for Holly Ween. But Holly Ween is heading to the penalty box, and we have a reflexive power jam.
Oh, my goodness.
That lead just dipped under 10 for the Coffin Draggers, and now Dolly Spartan is at the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers by herself. Coffin Draggers fans must like this, getting a chance to extend that lead back out a little bit if they can. So we'll see if the Valkyries can. Yeah. Good defense by the Coffin Draggers there to only allow 5 points on the power jam. And as Suki mentioned, this should take us up to the quarter break. So the Valkyries now with a chance to play power defense. So far, up to the task. Dolly not out yet. Friendly fire. Pee Wee Vermin got knocked into Dolly and squarely knocked her down. Now trying to get clear along the rail. Following right in behind Pee Wee. Still not able to get clear. We got a prize to give you. Stay tuned for that. Valkyrie's defense up on the task so far. 30 seconds to go in the power jam. This is about the point that Holly Ween got out for the Valkyries. But yeah, the Valkyries are holding very strong here as the quarter clock is going to expire.
You don't see Dolly Spartan being held back like this
very
often.
No, Dolly Spartan getting frustrated.
This is a testament to the Valkyries.
Hands up for the Valkyries. They're going to let Dolly go through, and that is going to be a defensive stand by the Doomsday Valkyries to take us into the quarter break. No points surrendered on the power jam. No harm, no foul. And we're going to head into the quarter break with a score of 28-20. We'll let you know when we actually start the quarter break. It hasn't started yet. So hold that. Here comes Crystal Ball Buster, and then we'll give away this raffle prize here momentarily. Quarter break, 5 minutes, as we said, 28-20. This is going to be a heck of a bout, isn't it? On the jammer line as we get back to it for the second quarter, as we said, 28-20, Coffin Draggers in front. What we have established, by the way, Michi-chan Sports in the Twitch chat wanted to let us know that at iwantmorederby.com, which is Michi-chan's apparently website, they're going to post the playoff updates for us as soon as this bout is over. But here goes Hanny right to the front. Yeah, that was Mo Fasta for the Draggers down on the inside, and a big cheer for Hanny getting out for the Valkyries.
Absolutely.
We'll bring you more of that playoff update in a moment. We didn't really have a chance to talk about that in the first quarter. The action was going so fast. Mo is back up, and Mo is now still trying to get by Mimi.
Yeah, Mimi's not having that, though. Mimi delivered a big hit on Mo Fasta back there, and now is just like, no, I'm good. Oh, now we're going to go ahead.
Yeah,
Mimi's just taking everybody on.
The Valkyries
so
have come out after being the Valkyries. A slightly slow start took them 5 jams to get their first lead jam, but they're now threatening to possibly take the lead if Hanny can finish this scoring pass and get around again. Now we're going to get some blocks. Small pack out there. Not able to get Hanny clear again. Now Mo is going to go up to the front and try Mimi again and lose. Mimi Mahler hard at the front of the pack. All 5 of those points for Hannibal Lecture. 28-25, excuse me. The Coffin Draggers are in front by 3. What I was going to say was that if the Draggers win, they're the #1 seed outright. If the Valkyries win, but it's by less than 84 points, then the Draggers would still be the #1 seed.
Okay.
So that is what we're looking at. The Valkyries have to win by more than 84 points
to be able to take that away from the
So the Valkyries would have to not only come back to win this game, but then win by a bunch. That's what they're facing for playoff
That's a lot
seeding.
of points. And considering how close it is right now,
yes,
you have to wonder if that could happen.
As points are coming in 2s and 3s and not 20s and 25s, that's what we're facing anyway.
Oh, and Dolly Spartan
the Draggers,
does a nice pass there.
By Dolly Spartan. And mentioning now here comes Dolly Spartan for a second scoring pass for the Draggers. Is going to get out there, so the Draggers, of course, just want to win and put this all to bed. And then let the Brides and the Valkyries fight for second and third.
Absolutely. Well, the Draggers are coming off that big win from the Runaway Brides, so
the Draggers
they're
have been looking
that.
for some offensive zest for a couple of jams, I would safely say. They jumped out to that big lead, and the Draggers have been
nice jump, Dolly. Nice jump.
The Draggers have been kind of mired on 28 for a while, and this is going to be huge. The crowd has really given it to them as Dolly Spartan comes down the back straightaway. This is going to be what the Draggers have been looking for to kind of staunch the bleeding. The Valkyries had all the momentum as we started the second quarter. 15 big points for the Coffin Draggers on a not power jam. Huge. Coffin Draggers spring back in front, 43-25. They never surrendered the lead, but now they've built that lead back up. Skeletori on the jammer line for the Valkyries. All of you die for the Coffin Draggers. Emphatic. The Valkyries were threatening to take the lead and had all the momentum. What a huge jam by the Coffin Draggers.
Oh, we had a nice little star pass there. Went from Olive to
Stitches.
That's Stitches, yes.
Yeah, Hugs and Stitches. And Skeletori is going to get out for the Valkyries to keep this to 1 scoring attempt for Stitches, who finishes it and calls it off. So, Skeletori.
That was a ferocious pass.
Yes, it really was, and quick, too. So the Valkyries push that lead back past 20, just like that, 47-25 for the Coffin Draggers.
Draggers are going to put back on the jammer line Dolly Spartan.
Yep, and your
I believe that is Critter.
Yep, that is Critter for the Valkyries.
Dolly Spartan to make a big move there, sliding on past. Puts that star back on, now his lead jammer. Critter's struggling a little bit behind there. Does get out, though. Dolly's already in the middle of a scoring pass, however.
Yep, Dolly's going to finish it off and call it off. So outside of that one big 15-point jam we just had, both teams have been doing pretty good at not allowing a second scoring pass.
Yes.
So, yeah, that 15-point...
Well, again, the testament to the good defense.
Yes, definitely. So that was, again, just looking back on that jam from 2 minutes ago, humongous for the Coffin Draggers. This is All of You Die for the Draggers once again, and Motion Sickness for the Valkyries.
Motion sickness makes a big move to get out of the pack there. Is now coming around for some points for the Valkyries. Olive You Die gets bumped off on the infield there, is struggling a little bit. Mimi Mahler is making sure, Mimi was coming after Olive for a second push, but Olive makes it out okay.
So now here comes Sick to finish off that scoring pass, is gonna get through, watching over their shoulder and calls it off with Olive coming in with a full head of steam. I hear Power O. I see waving onto the track. Some people getting swapped into Valkyries, calling in their primary. Yeah, you saw Sandy excusing themselves from the track, being a sub. So they brought in their Power O, which is their base Valkyries offensive team. Power offense. It's a power jam for the Valkyries, looking for points by the bunches.
Let's
if they
hear
can
it,
get
Valkyries fans.
That's right. Halloween for the Valkyries. Full pack otherwise. Just a jammer penalty for the Draggers. We've seen some power jams that haven't surrendered a lot of points, and one really big jam for the Coffin Draggers that Dolly Spartan got around several times.
Ween's having a tough time getting through the Coffin Draggers. Let's see, that is Murder Mittens. Who else do we got lined up there? Mofasta.
Now getting some help.
That was Angela Beth, too, I believe, that was doing some defensive work. Very nice. Moving and shaking over there, too. Being very wary of aware of what's happening behind them.
Trying to clear some space. Holly Ween still got that jammer star in the hand. Got a skater for the Coffin Draggers down on the infield. Now back up on the track. That's Reckless Rose. Adjusting a knee pad.
To a stop here.
Yeah, pack completely stopped. And we are going to have, before we get back to the action, a timeout of some kind. So let's find out before I finish that sentence, because I've got some news, and it's a team timeout for the Valkyries. Valkyries are going to use their second team timeout of the first half. So, two things to address. One, excellent defensive stand by the Coffin Draggers. No points surrendered on the power jam. Two, Holly Ween, I heard a jammer penalty. I do not see anybody in the penalty box at the moment. That should be forthcoming. Yep, I heard 1031 arms. That's your jammer. Thank you very much. We don't have a whiteboard this evening. So there goes Holly Ween. I appreciate you, baby bat. So we have also a blocker for the Valkyries in the penalty box. So it's going to be a power jam with a blocker advantage for the Coffin Draggers when we get back from this team timeout. All right. 51-29. Coffin Draggers in front, looking to build some score when we come back with a power jam. 8:26 to go until halftime.
Don't forget to buy those raffle tickets. We still have some raffle prizes that are available. We've still got the Dead Star Press tote bag and book choice, and Tucci's Touch massage gift certificates, as well as the silent auction is still happening for that $300 Raya Riot gift certificate and the $400 Lost Dutchman gift certificate.
Yeah, we're going to give away those tattoo gift cards at halftime coming up here in 8 minutes and 26 seconds. So get down there and see if you can do that old Price is Right $1 thing on somebody. Why not? Get down there and check it out. We are back to it. It is a small pack as we thought. Coffin Draggers also down at least one skater, and it's going to be Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers out there to do the power jam.
Let's see if Dolly can kind of repeat that big 15 points. Ooh, good start. Making quick work of getting through the pack there. Is on her way to scoring some points. A little bit of shuffling there at the back of the pack. Dolly comes around looking for a space. Ooh, nice job by the high.
Dolly quickly out again, coming around for her second scoring pass with 36 seconds left on the jam clock. This is what the Draggers are looking for. Try to build that lead as much as they can and then get back to that 3 and 4 points at a time. Now this time that defensive wall strong for the Valkyries.
Very strong.
Very strong. And they were not able to, Dolly was not able to get pushed all the way to the front. They had to spring one of their blockers loose. So good defense on that pass by the Valkyries. 12 seconds left on the power jam clock here. A lot of blockers down to the inside there. Nikki and NC blocked down to the infield. So we'll check from the infield for the score for Dolly there. Dolly puts another 15 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers. Huge score. Dolly Spartan has accounted for 30 of the Coffin Draggers' 66 points in 2 of her jams. This is going to be Hannibal Lecture for the Doomsday Valkyries and Strange for the Coffin Draggers.
Both Strange and Hanny went to the high there, kind of moved their way down to the low. Strange gets bumped off onto the infield as Hanny's trying to regroup towards the back there. Strange kind of up at the high now. Mimi Mahler's is busy with a Coffin Dragger blocker there, but disengages from that to kind of focus on what is happening with the jammers. Some space is made and Hanny's out.
So Hanny does get out. Strange is still fighting in the pack, still trying to get clear. Now is up to deal with Mimi. Or, excuse me, that was actually, no, well, not Mimi at the front of the pack. I'll have to check on who that was. That was Mimi. Yeah, that was Mimi. Yeah. So now up to the pack is Hanny at the back of the pack. 9 seconds to go, so Hanny's going to see what she can do with one scoring attempt here. Trying to clear some Coffin Draggers out of the way for Hanny. Angel of Beth gets blocked hard to the infield, and the clock's going to expire.
So some points on the board there. Looks like a total of 3 for the Valkyries.
Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Valkyries, and all of you die for the Coffin Draggers. Sandy is at the back of the pack, trying to get past those strong Coffin Draggers blockers at the back of the pack. They have been stout throughout.
And Olive's met up with Nikki Badaz there with the Valkyries and is having some trouble getting through. Now towards the front of the pack. Again, Valkyries are stepping up defensively. Not allowing a whole lot of movement from Olive.
Now Sandy is looking to build some momentum and try to get by. Good block at the front of the pack there. I believe that was
Hugs and
Stitches.
Stitches. Yeah.
Sandy's still not clear. 14 seconds left in the jam. Looks like neither jammer is going to get out here.
Nice defense on both sides here. Look at this. Pack's just kind of grounded to a halt.
Yeah, they're just going to let the clock expire since nobody got out. All right. No points for either side. There'll be about 4 minutes to go in the half when this jam starts.
Skeletor.
Yep.
For the Valkyries. Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. Now we're just going to expect that Dolly's going to put 15 up on the board every time now.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Dolly Spartan.
There's your pressure, Dolly.
Dolly down to the inside, pop back up on the track, has to get back down and get back all the way back behind Mimi Mahler. Up to the front.
Is trying, digging deep. That's, I believe Angela Beth there has to let her go by. So Skeletor is out as lead jam.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yep. Tori was just trying to get Beth punched out of play and was finally able to do so. So now up to the front again. Here comes Tori. There's 20 seconds left. We've got Dolly fighting to get clear. Dolly no success this time, though, and still not out. Tori gets up to reestablish at the back of the pack, is just trying to get by all the Coffin Draggers that she can back there. There it is, 4 points in for the Valkyries. The lead is 30 for the Coffin Draggers, 66-36. We got some skaters getting swapped out. I heard down a jammer. I heard those words. It is the Coffin Draggers that are down a jammer. It was 5 points for the Valkyries, not 4, excuse me, 66-37. We're rapidly, I think everybody on the track has recycled. And yes, and now
Everybody's
we're going to have a
changed
timeout.
position.
All
Yep.
right.
Now we're going to talk about it.
Okay, so the Coffin Draggers up by 29. We're going to have a timeout, probably an OTO. No. All right, team timeout. Everybody's using their timeouts here in the first half. Timeout by the Coffin Draggers to talk over defense before we head into this. Valkyries, dangerously, perilously close to snatching momentum back, are going to look to do things on this power jam coming up with the Power O, 66-37, Coffin Draggers in front. Mention once again, the after party is at Thunderbird Lounge, just like it's been all season long. Thunderbird Lounge, big open place, a lot of fun drink options as well. So head up to Thunderbird Lounge afterwards. Join us there. I say us. I'm never there, but that's because I'm an introvert. And people are always like, an introvert, you announce roller derby. And I'm like, oh, no, I am talking at people. I am not talking to people. No, there's nobody up here. I talk to you.
Well, you talk to me.
I talk to you. That is it. And occasionally Freya by like, hey, Freya, looking down and seeing it, Freya in the far turn. No, I don't talk. I talk at people otherwise. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. You occasionally, interact
a little
with
bit.
the players.
But no, I don't go to
track.
after parties. But I hear Freya might be there, so you can hang out and say hi to Freya. And other people definitely will be there. That's the after party at Thunderbird Lounge.
Well, I recall, this has been a minute, that you were in an after party and you actually did karaoke. So
I did a karaoke at the Bombshells karaoke contest. That's not an after party. That's different. And
How is it different?
But here's the thing is,
it's a gathering of people.
But here's the thing is, when karaoke is like, if I'm singing, then I'm in character. So then if I'm
okay.
singing, I'm
All
also
right.
not talking to people if I'm performing.
Well, maybe you could come up with a character that goes to after parties.
Nah.
Throwing that out there.
Nah.
All right, now we got
motion sickness.
Yeah, power jam.
Power jam for the Valkyries,
let's go.
as we said. Here we go. Motion sickness right up to the front of the pack to deal with Stitches. So Stitches has that one-person assignment at the front of the pack and is up to the task. Motion sickness not able to get out.
Now you got Hugs and Stitches that is doing their job back there, holding them back. And now, let's see, that is...
That's Antifa, number 616.
Antifa, yes.
Yeah. And motion sickness gets spun down, popped up on the track, back onto the inside.
Coffin Draggers want to keep this pack moving because that's going to keep motion sickness moving as well, not being able to make their way through as quickly, but they are out.
Yes. Excellent defense by the Coffin Draggers to keep motion sickness in the pack for 40 seconds of that power jam, but now motion sickness out and is going to try to get some points on the board. But yeah, Coffin Draggers definitely kept this from being much worse than it could have been. And the Coffin Draggers strong on the defense. All right, that'll do it for the power jam. Let's check on penalties from the infield. We have 4 points for the Valkyries. So again, excellent defense by the Coffin Draggers. Only allowing 4 points in that power jam, 66-41, protecting their lead. Halloween for the Valkyries and Strange once again for the Coffin Draggers. We're going to have a timeout of some kind. It is an challenge. That's the timeout. So Valkyries have used their first half challenge. We'll have to find out what for momentarily. Oh, it is a points challenge. Wow, we've had 4 challenges tonight, and they've all been points challenges. What are the odds of that? Honestly, I feel like points challenges are much more rare than penalty challenges. And we've had 4 points challenges tonight. So far, they've all been unsuccessful. So the Valkyries are challenging. The Valkyries. Yes, this is true. This is true. If anybody was going to call it a points challenge, it would be Infidel Castro. So now he doesn't have a chicken to throw, though. Nope, just now a more conventional challenge flag. So they're going to meet in the back straightaway, 66-41 at the moment. The Valkyries challenging the points on this one. We'll find out. 1:12 to go until halftime. Upcoming things here at the Hall of Dames, New Skater Orientation. If you love what you're seeing on the track, you could be out here too. Join us for New Skater Orientation the first Sunday of every month, 9 a.m. to noon, right here at the warehouse. That will be the first Sunday of April, which is, trying to do the math in my head really fast, Sunday, April 4th. Wait, that's during Chingadera. So I guess the New Skater Orientation is probably not happening.
Probably not. No, there's going to be other things happening
Chingadera.
here. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Put a bookmark in that. That may happen in May, but we'll bring you more update on that. The All Skate was canceled this past month, but they announced that in advance, obviously. The All Skate is the last Friday of every month, so that will be That will be the last Friday of March. Yeah, right. It's before the last week. 6 to 9 p.m. The All Skate is fantastic. You can show up and roll with this, but if you scan in advance to sign up, we definitely will know there's enough people coming. So want to scan in advance to make sure they hold the thing, basically. That's the All Skate. That's for everybody to come and hang out on the bank track and kind of, hang out and hang loose. Points upheld. Another unsuccessful challenge. No points changed for the Valkyries. 66 to 41. They were looking to get that 5th point on that scoring pass, and it was not awarded. Holly Ween on the jammer line for the Valkyries. Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers.
Dolly stuck at the back of the pack there. Valkyrie's doing a nice job holding her back. Holly Ween takes a little bit of a tumble in the middle of the pack, gives a chance for those Coffin Dragger blockers to regroup. Meanwhile, we had a star pass.
We do. Taking over as jammer for the Coffin Draggers is Murder Mittens, number 23. Yeah. Rapidly out of the pack, star pass for the Valkyries.
Nikki Badass is going to take this one for the Valkyries. Jam gets called off before Mickey can even put that helmet cover on.
Three points for the Draggers there. I thought I heard the word jammer again, but I might be hallucinating. Officials are talking. I did hear the word jammer. It's a power jam for the Coffin Draggers.
So Mimi Mahler takes off the star, moves her way up to the pack.
Yep, penalties coming in on Holly Ween. I may have heard at least one, obviously. Valkyries also have a blocker come down as well. I do see 2 Valkyries in the penalty box, so they're ready to go.
All of you guys going to go ahead and take this power jam for the Coffin Draggers. Maybe Muller gives a little bump, but Olive stays upright and on the track. Is moving their way around. Ooh. Helmet covers, doing something. Star, where's the star? Let's play that game.
We do not know who has the star at the moment. It is
I
all right.
have an
Olive
idea.
and Stitches are up at the front. It's in Olive's hand. Olive has it stashed still. Is still trying to hand it around to Stitches and successfully does so. So 30 seconds to go in the Coffin Draggers Power Jam. Stitches is now out. We're at halftime. The second quarter clock has expired. So here comes Stitches now. Gets by a Valkyrie's blocker. That was Nikki Badass that Stitches managed to finagle her way by. Gets through the pack. So the Draggers looking to go into the first half break with some momentum here.
Yeah, doing well so far. Stitches is doing a nice job. Coming in backwards, decides to call it off. So some points are going to go up for the Draggers.
That is correct. We will head into the halftime break. We'll bring you the score as soon as we have it. It is 9 points for the Coffin Draggers, 78-41 heading into the halftime break. 15-minute halftime break-a-rooney. We'll be back in 15 minutes with the remainder of this bout. We're going to bring you some silent... All right, we are just about a minute to go in the halftime break. Running some ad roll on Twitch, and we'll be back on Twitch momentarily. I see the officials talking there in the front straightaway. Coffin Draggers put 50 points on the board. Michi-chan was nice enough to let us know heading into the halftime break. 50-point quarter is a pretty solid offensive output for a team, so the Coffin Draggers definitely, emphatically, looking to stay undefeated here in this season and go into the playoffs as the #1 seed. As we mentioned, we've hit it a couple of times. #1 seed gets to skip the playoff tournament and gets to basically be off until the 3rd weekend of May. The benefits of being the #1 seed are manyfold, and the Coffin Draggers are looking to utilize that to their ability here. Worth noting, the Coffin Draggers have been one of the more complete teams this season, and they don't have any subs tonight. Not a single sub skater out there for the Coffin Draggers. They fielded a full roster, all of home team Coffin Draggers. So that maybe can speak to part of why they've had so much success this season. That they definitely are able to work together and not had to rely on sub-skaters to fill out the rosters. We're ready to get back to it. We are not ready to get back to it. I excitedly said we were ready to get back to it, but this could be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for the Coffin Draggers. So the Coffin Draggers, I believe that this would technically be their first half challenge, so this second half challenge that they have is not going to go anywhere, and it doesn't matter if they win this challenge or not, they're just going to lose it. So this is the Coffin Draggers' first half challenge, as we said. Their second half challenge is not in danger at this point, and we will find out what they're challenging momentarily. If it's another points challenge, I'm just going to go bonkers.
Sorry.
So, challenge to start the second half. Suki, welcome back to the second half. Hello.
Thank you. I got caught up, catching up with some of the bombshells. Congratulating them on their earlier victory tonight. So
yes.
We haven't even really started yet, have we?
Well, technically speaking, the second half has not started because this is a first half challenge.
Okay.
So basically, as I said, the Coffin Draggers are not at risk of losing their second half challenge. This is their first half challenge here.
All right.
So that's what we're looking at the moment.
So we're in a holding pattern right now.
Yeah, we are. This is them challenging something that happened in the last jam of the first half. Let's clarify that again. So we have at the Riot Collective private studio, Rhea Riot Tattoo. We just gave away one of those gift cards to them. Tattoos and laser tattoo removal come with zero judgment and all the good vibes. Whether you're adding new art or letting go of the old, you'll find a safe, inclusive, and chill space made just for you. Follow them online at the_Riot_Collective, and then their two artists, Rhea_Riot and Boner Riot. That is Murder Mittens and Ricky D. Boner for the Coffin Draggers. So,
Ricky D. Boner?
Ricky D. Bones, Ricky D. Boner. well, because they go by Boner Riot, so...
Sorry, I just was like, what? What was
Yeah, Ricky D. Bones. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. They go by Boner Riot.
That just made me giggle.
Yeah,
This made me giggle a little bit.
What can I say? It can be rickety. All right, it was a low block penalty that was being challenged. And the challenge unsuccessful. So the Coffin Draggers lose their challenge and lose their jammer, in fact, is what it was. It was a low block on the jammer. Yeah, we'll bring you a prize giveaway here in a couple of minutes. Okay, so we'll get you a prize giveaway. Get those tickets ready for the Dead Star Press giveaway. After this, Valkyries Power Jam. It is Critter to start things off for the Valkyries. Full pack otherwise. Coffin Draggers' defense has been nigh on impenetrable at times. But
I don't know,
Critter
though.
to the
Critter's
front of the
doing
pack.
a good job here.
Yep, and that blocker is not out of play. Interesting.
No.
It now has to get blocked down to the inside, gets told to go on and go. So Critter is clear. That blocker was out of play when they knocked Critter off the track.
Tifa was a little bit ahead of the pack there.
So Critter now up to the back of the pack. They've got those two Coffin Draggers pinned at the back, but they're able to come together and form a two-wall at the back of that power jam.
Critter's still fighting a little bit here, trying to get out. Again, there's that excellent Coffin Draggers defense. Tifa doing a really nice job, giving a bump there, pushing Critter out onto the infield, forcing them to come back onto the track. Mofasta's up there too.
Big block by Murder Mittens.
Yeah, Nikki Badass is trying to play interference, but it just doesn't quite work out.
So ends up being 5 for Critter. Good defense once again by the Coffin Draggers on the power jam.
Yeah, these power jams can really yield a lot of points, and so I find it really interesting that they haven't been.
Yes. So Coffin Draggers, 78, Valkyries 46. That's going to be Skeletori for the Valkyries, and Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. I forgot to give away this prize. I'll do that again, I swear. Dolly Spartan races around the outside and is going to get out and clear for the Coffin Draggers.
Skeletor is still fighting to find their place. Murder Mittens is right there kind of doing a little bumpy, shovey thing. As Dolly Spartan comes around once again. I think Dolly's just hell-bent on doing 15 at every turn.
Yeah, Dolly Spartan has had a couple of really, really big jams for the Coffin Draggers. One of them was a non-power jam for 15 points. Dolly gets through again. 15 seconds left, and Dolly is going to try to do it again and come around one more time.
Yeah, Skeletor is really struggling, which is not usual for Skeletor. So, again, testament to the Coffin Draggers' defense on that. Dolly Spartan fighting, holding on, makes it out with no seconds left on the jam clock.
Yes. All right, let's check on the score from that jam. Your winning ticket for Dead Star. Dead Star Press, 430-366. 430-366. Let us know if that is you. We'll read that again after this jam. 430-366 for Dead Star. Is that a winner? I saw somebody waving. Did you win? No. Okay, thank you. 430-366. All right, back to the jam. We'll try to focus on that as much as we can. That is Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Valkyries. That was a big 15 points for Dolly Spartan, 93 on the board for the Coffin Draggers now. Huge. Dolly scored 45 points for the Draggers on 3 jams.
And Olive is out for the Draggers, placing that star firmly back on their helmet as they come around to score some points.
Olive up now.
Sandy makes it out.
Oh, Sandy gets knocked down from behind. Ouch.
That was
Sandy got hit from behind and got their skates knocked out from underneath them. So they're going to have to try to get up and reestablish here.
Olive pushing through, trying to get those last points. Not even really looking in the rear view. They're just moving. Sandy's struggling after that bump. No wonder. That was a tough one.
Olive trying to catch up to the pack. All right, one more time. Dead Star Press, 430-366. 430-366. If that is you, make some sort of a hoot and holler sound. If that's not you, hang on to those tickets. We'll read a new one after this jam. They want us to give this away quickly. I believe the Dead Star Press person would like to get out of here for the evening. All right, we'll read a new one after this jam. This is going to be a Coffin Draggers Power Jam.
And I don't think anybody's too surprised that Dolly Spartan's on the line for this one.
No, it's not.
Oh, no.
Here comes...
Just kidding.
Critter, once again for the Valkyries, racing out there. Critter gets knocked down and kind of falls right in the way of Dolly Spartan.
But Dolly is out as lead jammer. Critter's still fighting back at the back of the pack there with the Coffin Draggers. Dolly coming through to score some points here. Critter tries to do a little bit of jammer defense towards the back, but Dolly is just on through.
Yeah, Dolly's been incredibly effective here this evening for the Coffin Draggers. Critter's going to get out for the Valkyries at that point. Dolly coming around for a second scoring pass. Calls it off, getting blocked off the track. Dead Star Press. Dead Star Press giveaway. New ticket for Dead Star Press. 430-448. 430-448. We've got a timeout. It's a team timeout by the Valkyries. They're going to use their first second half timeout.
Give us a shout if that is your number, please.
Yes, that's a winner. Hey,
all right, woohoo.
We got a winner there. 430-448 for Dead Star Press. Don't come up here. Head down to the raffle table. Hang a left and head down to the raffle table. Fantastic. We do like giving things away. One raffle prize remaining, the Tucci's Touch Massage giveaway. We'll get to that as soon as we can. I'm sure that'll be probably a little later in the quarter. We have. All right. Correction for me as well. That was the only second half timeout for the Valkyries. They only get one back at the half, so you get 3 total for the game is what you get. So the Valkyries have no more timeouts. They do have a challenge remaining, however. You can challenge without calling a timeout.
Looks like we might have a new jammer on the line here for the Valkyries. That is NC Jammer.
Yep. Coffin Draggers have topped over 100, by the way, 107 to 46, and that's going to be All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Olive along the inside, able to get on by as the blocker came off the track as well, so Olive's out and clear for the Coffin Draggers.
NC Jammer struggling there at the back against formidable. Let's see, I think Mo Fast is back there. I think Antifa's back there. So some formidable blockers for the Coffin Draggers as Olive is coming around. Now Olive is finding their own opposition there. Nikki Badaz is like, gonna knock you off onto the infield here. Not gonna let you through so easy. NC Jammer is out for the Valkyries. And Olive calls that off.
Olive gets all 10 of those points on both scoring passes, 117 to 46. Coffin Draggers in front in this race for the #1 seed in the playoffs. That is Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers, and that's going to be Skeletori for the Valkyries. Tori gets blocked along the inside by Pee Wee Vermin, knocked down,
that was a big bump there.
Apparently did not come off the track and gets able to go on by. So out and clear, lead jammer for the Valkyries.
Yes,
right along
Skeletori's
behind,
out,
there goes
here
Dolly
comes
Spartan.
Dolly. Let's see if Skeletori's going to go for some points, even though, oh yeah, she does.
Dolly believes she got a point on the back end, so we will check from the infield and find out. The infield disagrees. Dolly then puts 2 fingers up, but no points for the Coffin Draggers. 4 points for the Valkyries on that, 117 to 50.
It looks like we've got Critter on the line for the Valkyries, and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Got some shifting around here.
Critter along the inside finds an opening and gets out. Immediately calls it off because Hugs and Stitches had taken the star and was really hot in pursuit.
Yes.
So Critter immediately called it off. No points for either side. And in that time, there was time for somebody to get a directional block. I believe that was Nikki, I heard. So we got a prize to give away here momentarily. We'll give away that Tucci's Touch Massage here in a couple of minutes. That is going to be Murder Mittens jamming for the Coffin Draggers.
And Motion Sickness for the Valkyries. Motion Sickness is stuck there behind some Coffin Dragger blockers, really digging in, trying to get through. Going high, going low, going down, going on the infield, coming back on, making all the moves. We've got a very slow moving pack.
Yeah, slow moving pack
here.
heading into the back straightaway here. Murder Mittens is sort of looking around and now trying to decide should she go on ahead, and does. Out and clear with 16
Yeah,
seconds
there you
left
go.
in the jam.
Sometimes you just need to take a second, regroup, assess the situation. Now the pack is sped up in an effort to keep Murder Mittens from scoring any points. But Murder Mittens is like, I'm going to give it a go anyway, and does come out of it and calls it off as Mimi was handed the star.
All right, let's give away a Tucci's Touch massage, why don't we? Tucci's Touch, there's a ton of tickets in this bag. Hang on to those tickets. We'll keep drawing until we give it away. 430-432. 430-432 for Tucci's Touch. Give us a hoot and holler if that's you. We'll read it again before the next jam. 4-3. There you got a winner. All right, you're going to want to head down to the raffle table. Here you go. Well, Hood's going to follow Hood. Hood will take care of you. Here comes Holly Hood. Good. I like giving stuff away. We got a power jam coming up for the Coffin Draggers.
And this could potentially widen that lead for the Coffin Draggers, too, depending on what happens in the next 60 seconds.
Yes, it'll be all of you die on the jammer line.
Oh, Mimi's all over that track just trying to keep Olive out of the way of success getting out of that pack. Olive skirts around the high there and does come out. Now looking to get some points. Pack is moving pretty darn quickly, though, which is exactly what you want in this situation. The more space the pack has between themselves and the jammer, the better.
Olive up to the pack now. Gets blocked off by Mimi at the front of the pack. 25 seconds to go in this Coffin Draggers Power Jam. You know, it's worth noting that this bout was 28-25 at one point.
Yes, there's been a significant shift.
The Coffin Draggers have really put the hammer down since then.
Now they're proving why they're the one seed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why they're undefeated this season. They have been doing this a lot, defeating people. 5 points for the Draggers. 5 points for the Coffin Draggers on that power jam. So good defense, stout defense by the Valkyries. This will be Dolly Spartan, the big point scorer for the Coffin Draggers, and that's going to be Skeletori for the for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Ooh, Skeletori makes a big play, spin move, and is out as lead jam, while Dolly's kind of stuck behind some Valkyries back there, including Hannibal Lecture. Let's see, who else is back there? Some notable Valkyrie blockers for sure.
Tori blocked down to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like Dolly Spartan has joined defense in an effort to cut Skeletori off.
Yes, indeed. Draggers definitely have no problem pivoting to just running time off the clock at this point. They're pretty confident in their defense, you can tell, obviously. Not trying to score every valid point that's out there with Dolly playing jammer defense as we speak. 8 seconds left, and Tori's going to get around. Mimi clears Dolly out of the way.
Just not a lot of time left on the jam clock, and that is it.
All right, we'll check on that score from the infield and find out. Full 5, all 5 of the points on that for the Valkyries. We've got Sandra Slay O'Connor at the jammer line, but there's going to be a team timeout. I saw the Coffin Draggers signaling from their bench. We will verify that that's true. That's right. We saw Gare Bear signaling from the bench for a team timeout. Coffin Draggers are going to take a second to talk this one over. We were setting up for a power jam. Valkyries are going to have a power jam, so the Coffin Draggers want to take a moment to talk it over and make sure nothing untoward happens. 2:38 to go in the third quarter. Coffin Draggers maintaining that lead, 126-55.
Let's go ahead and talk about Lost Dutchman Tattoo, one of the Derby Dames' longtime sponsors, and they've been donating since 2011. They're dedicated to providing a safe and inclusive environment for all. As an ally to the LGBTQIA+ community, they are committed to fostering a welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Lost Dutchman Tattoo's talented artists specialize in a variety of styles, including traditional, fine line, black and gray, new traditional, and Japanese. They invite both appointments and walk-ins to experience their artistry. The shop hours are Tuesday to Saturday from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join them at Lost Dutchman Tattoo, where your tattoo journey begins in a supportive and safe space.
Back to the action we go. As we mentioned, Power Jam for the Valkyries. On the jammer line now instead is Motion Sickness. And Sick gets a running start, trying to catch up to that pack and find an opening, but nothing doing so far. Going to get blocked around. Draggers' defense has been strong on the Power Jam all night long.
Yes, it's definitely been a force to be reckoned with for sure. Motion Sickness is definitely not having a good time of it. Going high, going low, going to the middle. It's all been, there we go.
So Sick gets out for the Valkyries. 27 seconds left in the Valkyries Power Jam. Draggers now are going to have those two blockers at the back set up and form a two-wall. And an effective one at that. Mofasta blocks without coming off the track.
Yeah, you've got Hugs and Stitches and Antifa just waiting up there to provide some opposition to Motion Sickness. Really successful on the Coffin Draggers end as far as defense.
So 5 more for the Valkyries, but again, that's effective Power Jam defense, keeping a team to 5 on the Power Jam. Once again for the Coffin Draggers, not letting the Valkyries get those big wads of points up on the board, and the Coffin Draggers trusting their defense at this point to get the job done. Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers, and Skeletori for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Skeletori is on the move, comes out as lead jammer.
Yep, Tori quickly along the inside, able to get out along the coping.
Dolly Spartan not too far behind, comes out for the Coffin Draggers. Skeletori's, my guess, going to try to get some points here, but unfortunately, that wall of Coffin Draggers just is too much. And Skeletori knew that Dolly was coming up from behind, so it just didn't seem like a smart idea to keep that going.
Yep.
Now Sandra Slay O'Connor's back on the line. There she is. There they are.
And then that's All of You Die up there for the Coffin Draggers. This will be the last jam of the third quarter, nearly certainly. With 14 seconds left on the quarter clock, we will have to see for sure. But like I said, more than likely last jam of the quarter. All of You Die to the front, blocked down to the inside. Good blocking by Nikki up there at the front of the pack.
Nikki's been really instrumental as far as defense for the Valkyries tonight.
Sandy takes off the star and is still trying to fight through the pack. Actually in front of their own pivot, so not much of a point in passing the star right now. So neither jammer out. Quarter clock has expired. There goes Sandy.
There goes Sandy.
Now Sandy's out. As we said, quarter clock has expired. The Coffin Draggers jammer, that's All of You Die, has gotten out as well. Sandy's going to get back up to the pack. And good blocking by Antifa. I wonder if Antifa was able to keep from any points being scored.
Antifa also been exceptional as a blocker this evening.
That is going to take us up to the quarter break. Great blocking by Antifa. No points for either side. 126-62 as we step aside for the final time. We'll be back in a few minutes with the remainder of tonight's bout. The Coffin Draggers continuing to try to stay undefeated on the season. Wintering in Texas. Punctuality says, hope he doesn't lose his wallet this time.
Why does that seem on brand?
All right, we are back to the action. We have a Coffin Draggers Power Jam to start things off in the fourth quarter. Feels fitting for the Coffin Draggers to have a chance to put a big amount of points on the board. And why not send Dolly Spartan to the jammer line for this action? Yeah? There is Dolly Spartan all by her lonesome. Has been wildly successful on a handful of jams this evening.
Yes, very true.
Yes.
Although the Valkyries right now are like, we're not really interested in letting Dolly go by. So I think it is, who is that? Mimi and NC Jammer? No, that's not right.
Well, they were able to stay in play, which is pretty impressive.
Yes.
They did not yield any space on the track. Finally, Dolly gets out, but the Valkyrie is able to burn 30 seconds off of the Power Jam clock. Coffin Draggers happy with lots of time running on down, obviously. Dolly finishes off that scoring pass, has 11 seconds to go, still may be able to get around for more points here, 7 seconds. Heading down the front straightaway, is going to get to the pack, gets by Mimi, gets by a couple more skaters, does not get by the last skater, but did get some more points on that second scoring attempt. 9, about like we figured for the Coffin Draggers. Looks like we're going to have Skeletori up there for the Valkyries, and this is going to be All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. We got one Coffin Dragger in the penalty box, so pretty full pack out there.
Oh, nice little star pass. Didn't even see that. That went from All of You Die to Hugs and Stitches, who is off like a bullet.
That's right. So Skeletori is
nice moves.
Nicely done by Stitches. Skeletori on the fast pursuit, but Stitches got there faster.
We got Critter on the line for the Valkyries and Angela Beth for the Coffin Draggers.
Clock continuing to run, under 13 minutes to go in regulation. 4 points for the Coffin Draggers on that jam, 139 to 62. Beth up to the front of the pack and is got a helper up there trying to get past, trying to use Reckless Rose for leverage, and those blockers are out of play. Angela Beth is out for the Coffin Draggers. Beth now up to the pack, runs up to the high side, gets hit, run into the rail by NC, but did not lose a whole lot of momentum. Then a big block along from Nikki Badaz and knocked Beth to her knees. The back of the pack, Holly Weens trying to catch up for the Valkyries. Looking around for a Valkyries jammer. Not seeing a Valkyries jammer.
I'm looking for a Valkyries jammer.
Yes, so somebody's got a star stashed.
I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? Where's that star?
Oh, they went back to the team box. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Valkyries jammer is off the track, so that would explain that.
That would explain a lot. Okay.
Medics are over there checking on the Valkyries jammer. That was Skeletori, it looks like. Okay, thank you for the update. We appreciate it. Regulators are under no obligation to give us updates, but we appreciate that.
They're not,
Thank
but
you.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, oh, it was Critter. Thank you. I appreciate it. So Critter over there getting checked out. I see Tori is sitting down and has medics next to her as well. So not sure what to make of all of that down on the bench, but that's a long way away, and let's not speculate. Wound up being 5 points for the Coffin Draggers. So this is going to be Motion Sickness for the Valkyries and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers.
Couple personnel changes, position changes. Olive You Die and Motion Sickness kind of heading towards the same spot, but then Olive slides down. Star in hand. We'll see what happens with that. Oh, yes. And while I was talking about that, Motion Sickness got out for the Valkyries, coming around as lead jammer, glancing in their rear view to make sure that Olive is not right there behind.
We've got Sick up to the pack and fighting right through for the Valkyries. So Sick is going to come around again to see about getting more. Stitches now finally gets out of the pack for the Coffin Draggers and is going to put that star on and take off.
Sickness is probably looking to get past this last. Oh, Olive You Die, but didn't quite do it.
All right, so we will check on the score. Ends up being points for both sides. The Coffin Draggers getting points in the pursuit. 8 for the Valkyries, 3 for the Coffin Draggers. We've got an illegal procedure on Hugs and Stitches. So Hugs and Stitches as the jammer heads to the penalty box. Power offense for the Valkyries. It's going to be Sandra Slate O'Connor remaining at the jammer line. No, it's not. That is going to be Motion Sickness once again. Again with the Valkyries rotating in their base lineup to get their power offense out on the track.
Although it looks like we're going to...
Some kind of timeout.
Something's going to happen. Yeah.
An official timeout so they can talk over... That was a late penalty coming in, so it looks like they're going to talk this over. Illegal procedure, that's going to be the discussion. And now they're waving at the eyes in the sky. Are they? Yes. They want the eyes in the sky. They're going to head down. So you all head down there, and you're going to talk about probably the points that were scored. 9:54 to go in the fourth quarter. 147-70. Coffin Draggers are trying to escort this lead to bed. As we've mentioned a few times, the Chingadera tournament coming up April 3rd to the 5th. Friday, April 3rd to Sunday, April 5th. That's Chingadera. That is coming up. RDCL Bank Track Sanctioned Tournament. Lineups and whatnot all due out soon. Our next home bout after that is Saturday, April 25th, and it's the playoffs. Coffin Draggers are looking to skip that, so right now it's looking like it's going to be the Brides and the Valkyries and the Bombshells and the Beauties in some order. We will check that out. All right, here come the eyes in the sky. We'll find out if any points have changed. All right, after discussion, points did not change. 8 for the Valkyries, 3 for the Coffin Draggers. And it is going to be a power jam for the Valkyries. We have our third different jammer out there. This is now NC jammer for the Valkyries to jam during the power jam. Coffin Draggers defense has been strong all night. I think 3 straight power jams. They've only allowed 5 points to the Valkyries. Let's see what they can do here. NC is out. 41 seconds left in the power jam, so there's time for more than one scoring pass.
There is time, but there's also time for the Coffin Draggers to build that wall, too.
I'm going to say, if the Draggers would allow it, we will find out. They have not done that tonight, and they are looking like they're going to kind of shuffle NC along and then funnel her forward to that front wall, and then are going to reform in front of her there. So now the recycling is in full swing here at the front of the pack.
Yes, absolutely.
13 seconds left, and that's pretty much going to eliminate this from being more than one scoring a pass for NC. So good defense by the Coffin Draggers once again to allow only 5 points on a power jam to the Valkyries. Coffin Draggers have surrendered some power jams here in the second half. All right, so 5 points for the Valkyries, 147.75, under 9 minutes to go in regulation. This is going to be Skeletori for the Valkyries, and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers.
Skeletori is off as lead jammer for the Valkyries. All of You Die struggling a little bit towards the back there as Skeletori is coming around for some points. Olive is now out of the pack.
Satori is going to call it off. Got kind of turned down towards the infield by Mo Fasta.
Yeah,
so Tori calls
saw
it off.
Olive coming in.
Yeah. All four, though, on that scoring pass for Tori. So 147.79. Coffin Draggers in front. NC Jammer to the jammer line once again for the Valkyries.
And Dolly Spartan.
Yes. The highly successful Dolly Spartan. Dolly blasting right through the pack.
Yes.
Making short work of that, getting out fast.
NC is out as well, though, too. Coming around, Dolly kind of checking the rear view there, seeing how much time they've got to try and collect some points. Decides not worth letting NC hit the pack.
Dolly gets 2 for the Coffin Draggers at the back of the pack. So we're going to have Skeletori this time for the Valkyries, and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Clock continues to run, 6.5 minutes to go in regulation, as the Coffin Draggers are trying to lock up the #1 seed in the playoffs and remain undefeated on the regular season. That is Skeletori.
Making quick work of the pack there, coming out. All of You Die now hot on the trail. Skeletori might have an opportunity to pick up some points here, though. Working their way through, but not, maybe skirting around a little bit. Maybe picked up a couple there.
Three points for the Valkyries. Under 6 minutes to go in regulation. NC Jammer for the Valkyries this time. Once again, Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. I feel like Dolly, there's been 47 jams. I think Dolly's been out there for 23 of them. I swear. Constantly out there.
It's like, aren't you tired yet, Dolly?
Yeah. NC is up towards the front, is fighting to get out. Dolly gets out first along the inside.
Look
we
at
do
this.
have a jammer race.
NC coming up real tight.
Yeah, Dolly has to signal to call it off, so no points for either side. Not a lot of time off the clock. Well,
NC was putting a lot of pressure on Dolly right there.
Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Valkyries, and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Be just about 5 minutes to go in regulation when this jam starts. Sandy has the star off, desperately trying to hand it forward, keeps getting knocked off the track by one of the Coffin Draggers blockers.
Yeah, now their pivot is way at the front of the pack there, so that makes that a little more difficult. Sandy's just trying to bust through. Looks like Olive's trying to do the same. Oh, we do have the star pass.
Able there, Sandy with the long arm reaching through the pack and hands it forward, so motion sickness takes over as jammer for the Valkyries. And motion sickness got nearly all the way through the pack, but then ran into Antifa at the front. Kind of sapped their momentum.
You don't want to run into Antifa.
No.
That's just a bad idea.
We will find out. Motion sickness did get that point, though. Did get by Antifa. Got all 5. Dolly Spartan, unsurprisingly, and NC Jammer for the Valkyries.
Frequent flyers. And we've got less than 4 minutes to go. This has gone really fast
We
too.
do. This is just trucking right along here in the fourth quarter. Very similar score to our first bout of the evening. We mentioned this was very close in the first quarter, and the Coffin Draggers have absolutely dominated since then. In all phases of the game, safe to say, offense, defense, and special teams, which is to say power jams.
Dolly is out, ready to score some points. Also, NC Jammer is out as well. Dolly kind of taking a look back, see how much time there is. Might be, maybe.
Dolly calling it off mid-tack, with NC closing down the back straightaway as well. 2 points for the Draggers. It's going to be Sandy again for the Valkyries and Olive for the Coffin Draggers. Full pack out there. Looks like we're skating pretty clean here. Not a full pack, sorry. There is one Coffin Dragger in their penalty box. But skating relatively clean, as I said. It does not appear that a lot of skaters have fouled out here in the second half.
Sandy working along the high there, trying to get past a couple of Coffin Draggers there. Actually, both Drammers are having a little trouble getting out of that pack.
Would appear as such.
Oh, but Sandy does make it out. Lead Jammer.
So Sandy's out for the Valkyries. That Draggers Jammer, Olive, is just going to line up to play defense now, as we've mentioned.
Sometimes
they're all right with
that's the
running
best
the clock.
thing to do.
Yep. And Olive very successful there at the back of the pack.
Absolutely. Sandy gets bumped off, taking some precious time off that clock. Olive decides to break out, but Sandy goes ahead and calls it off. We're at 1:53 left in regulation.
Yes, we've got Mo Fasta on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers. Mo was up there like the second jam of the game and is now up there in jam 51.
Mo's
52.
been doing a lot of work in the pack.
Yes,
so.
very much so. A lot of work in the back of the pack. Mo Fasta. And then we've got NC Jammer on the jammer line for the Valkyries. Looks like we're rolling right along. Neither jammer out. Up towards the
Mo's
front.
getting
Now here comes
close.
Mo. Nope,
Here
Mo
goes, oh.
almost out.
Oh, but there's Mimi.
Was nearly out.
There's Mimi.
Yes, Mimi with another great block.
Yep.
They're not letting Mo
Oh
out
my
just
gosh.
yet.
Yeah, not yet. Just when you think.
Right? That does
And
take us
C's
under.
also trying to find a way out too, and I think there was another hit by Antifa. My goodness.
It does take us under a minute to go in regulation, so there probably will be only one more jam left after this. NC's skate lace is tied around one of her wheels, I can see from here, so she is walking along on a toe block.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
Be safe. Be safe.
So, clock is going to run down and expire. Draggers are all right with that.
This could be the last jam of the game.
Yep. More than likely going to be the last jam of regulation. 151 to 91. Coffin Draggers are trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Reckless Rose, again, another jammer who got up like the third jam of the game and is up there in jam 53.
It's like it's time for you now.
Yep. And then along the inside for the Valkyries, that is, I believe, motion sickness. No.
And it's not motion sickness.
Kansas
no.
City.
There we go. Yeah. Also, another jammer we haven't seen in a minute.
I would agree with that.
And they're
Sid
out.
gets out. Yeah, Sid gets out.
Oh, and
Rose
also
gets
Rose
out
is
right
out
behind.
too. This will be a nice little jammer race to finish this out, perhaps.
And Sid catches up.
Oh, look at
Signals
that.
to call it off, but Rose was blasting through the pack, so Rose might have gotten points on
That's
that for
very
the Coffin
possible.
Draggers. Let's find out. Regulation clock has expired. And there's an awkward change in the music track. There we go.
All of a sudden it got real quiet.
So we have 3 points for the Coffin Draggers. Indeed, Reckless Rose blasting through and picking up points on the pursuit. None for the Valkyries, 154-91. Let's check on penalties, and let's find out if the Coffin Draggers' undefeated regular season is complete. 1 moment.
As we all wait with bated breath.
Still watching down there, still waiting to figure out if there are any penalty jam or not. I heard a penalty on the Valkyries. So that's part of what we need for there to be a penalty jam. The penalty was on Kansas City, so that's going to be a problematic penalty jam if there is one.
Yes.
So we're still waiting to see. Here comes head referee Yazzle Dazzle. No.
It's a chicken.
Challenge.
Or
It is a challenge chicken.
Is that a chicken?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He went and got the challenge chicken. So no time on the clock. And Infidel Castro is going to challenge that jammer penalty on Kansas City. It has not been officially announced yet, but I think we can all see what's going on here. So I'm just going to call that one. So it is a challenge. The Valkyries are using their final challenge of the game to challenge that jammer penalty and see if they can force a penalty jam or not. We will find out. Let's see how long this takes to discuss. Don't forget, once this discussion is over, the after party is at Thunderbird Lounge. Join us there. Chingadera is April 3rd through the 5th. Friday, April 3rd is when that starts. That's just a few weeks away. We hope you will be here with us for that. The eyes in the sky are being asked to come down. Both eyes? Both eyes. So apparently it's a points challenge then? It's a jammer penalty. Got it. Oh, yeah, true. Wait, there's not? Oh, okay. Punctuality has pointed out that there's no Coffin Dragger penalty, so we will find out what we are. We have the eyes in the sky come down, so we'll find out if there's any different word from the infield once this is all over. A bunch of the Valkyries are heading over. It looks like they're helping one of the Valkyries off. That's Critter. Yeah, we saw Critter had gotten injured earlier on, so Critter being helped off the track. Lower body type injury, it would appear, for Critter. So we can report on that. A couple of skaters got hurt tonight. Never like to see that, obviously. So somebody was just carrying Critter all the way back to the Critter has been drafted by the Brutal Beauties, so Critter's one of their rostered skaters. I saw that jersey earlier, so the rest of the Brutal Beauties are going to check on Critter just now. It was a points challenge. Points are upheld. The penalty was not challenged. So now let's see. Once again, we're going to go back and reconvene and find out if that's the end of the game or not, but it should be. We had a penalty on the Valkyries, so that should do it, right? That's it.
That's it.
Final score, the Coffin Draggers.
Wow.
Undefeated regular season is complete, and the Coffin Draggers are the #1 seed in the playoffs.
This is
154-91. Major victory by the Coffin Draggers.
Yeah, congratulations to the Coffin Draggers, and great job, Valkyries, for putting up a great fight.
Draggers faithful have come down trackside. As we said, the Draggers are now off for about 2.5 months and get to do nothing but rest up for the championship bout in May, excuse me. And now here come the Valkyries. Valkyries game throughout. So the Valkyries will go into the playoffs as the 2 or the 3 seed, depending on margin of victory. Michi Chan is in the Derby chat saying, I want more derby.com. They will have, Michi will have we will have the standings there once the scores are input. 154-91, the Coffin Draggers, as we said, victorious. 4-0 on the regular season. Who could have seen that coming at the beginning of the year? What do you know about that? The runaway brides are in the tournament and have to fight to get to the championship.
So interesting.
Crazy. All right, Suki, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Of
I
course.
appreciate it. I appreciate you being here.
Always
like,
a good time.
I know Jaeger's moved away and all, so I appreciate you coming down and
Well,
talking with us.
of course. Doesn't mean that I don't love Derby. Doesn't